Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends, the X-Men 97 Goblin Queen. So this is Wave 2. Wave 1 was the Bishop and Storm and Magneto, Gambit, Rogue, and Wolverine. Wave 2, as you can see on the back of this card, is another version of Magneto, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, X-Cutioner, and Goblin Queen. I found this Goblin Queen at Target last night. There was no street date, even though I believe the official street date is March 1st. Scanned at the register just fine. So I had no issues getting it. Magneto is supposed to be coming soon from Amazon. X-Cutioner is supposed to be coming soon from Amazon. I have Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler on the way from ToySnowman.com up in Canada. But the one that I truly needed was Goblin Queen, so it worked out pretty good that I actually had it, that they had it at the Target I went to after I went to Monday Night Raw. I went there, I stopped at 3 different Targets on my way home because, why not? And on the last one, the third one, just before closing, bam, I found Goblin Queen. So I'm pretty excited. The X-Men 97 figures have been pretty cool. What's even better now is we actually have a trailer for the show. So in the in-between time, since Series 1 came out a little while ago now, and now having Series 2 in hand, we have seen a trailer for the show. It's awesome. All the nostalgia feels coming back. The animation isn't the exact same, and of course it's not going to be, but they got a lot of the voice actors to return, which is pretty cool. And then one big thing is it's no longer Marvel Studios X-Men 97, it is Marvel Animation X-Men 97. So Marvel Studios officially branching off and having a separate animation studio side called Marvel Animation, which I think was about time. They can have the two separate, have animation focus on animation instead of pulling resources from the studio live action stuff, which I don't know if that was ever really the case. Now they're just slapping a logo on it, which is realistically probably it. But I like the fact that they're doing that. So that'll be on Disney Plus in March. I don't remember the date, March 20th or something. I have to go back and look. But we got the Goblin Queen here. We got a baby Cable, Madelyne Pryor. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and take a look. Okay, so here's Madelyne Pryor, Goblin Queen, out of the package. And you know what? This is a pretty fun one. It's going to be a frustrating one, though, for a lot of folks because she's going to have a hell of a hard time standing. Now, I got her into this pose, and, the baby Cable was kind of a pain in the ass to get him to balance and stuff. But, I was able to make it happen. But she's got the high heels, the dreaded high heels. I thought the wedge shoes feet were pretty bad. But the heels are the worst. The double jointed elbows, the double jointed knees, the pinless knees, help keep the legs sturdier compared to when we had super gummy pinned legs. But that doesn't mean that they're perfect and that she can stand up in every pose that you want and everything. It's difficult. Part of it, the baby also has the counterbalance with the cape. The way the cape is designed, it's very back heavy. She wants to fall back. The baby is heavy, so then holding the baby, she's going to want to fall forward. So I got it kind of in that happy medium where, look, it is balanced. Not something everyone is always going to be able to do. But again, this is a fun one. She has these two green magic flame effect pieces. So I have one on one hand, and then you could do it on the other. Out of the package, she has the two open hands. Then we also get these fists in here, and you can see her skin tone is a little bit of a pinkish color. And then just, a little bit of black paint. The hinges are black in there. So those are the accessories. We can take a look at the baby, which, does it have an articulated head? No, there's no articulated head. Now, I'm not going to go back through and pull out my accessories and find my baby Hulk or my baby Kurt. But this is not the same. Because this one, the head is all exposed, and then, it's the baby head. This is a separate piece, wrapped within the blanket. We got this X-Men logo printed throughout, just in yellow. So I believe it's different. Again, I'm not going to go back and check. I'm pretty sure it is different. But the baby head sculpt looks pretty good. It's both terrifying and realistic looking. It's just weird. I think it's staring at me, and that kind of scares me. Yes, he is kind of smiling a little bit. Looks like a happy baby. Don't let that baby fool you, because his mom is the Goblin Queen after all. But there is the figure. Let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at her, and let's see how she moves. It's not going to be great, to be honest with you. And see, nothing to counterbalance. She's just going to want to fall, because look at them damn heels. Anyway, let's get in for the closer look. Okay, so here we have the close look at the Goblin Queen. Likely the only Goblin Queen Goblin Queen we will get. We were going to potentially have the opportunity almost get a Goblin Queen in the past. That was part of the failed HasLab Engine of Vengeance, the Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes. One of the stretch goals was Madelyne Pryor, the Goblin Queen. Obviously not this look, very different look, a comic look. This look is specific to the new series X-Men 97, which is a continuation of the original 90 series X-Men, the animated series. So obviously that's why it is different. Now, Disney can eventually kind of control all. While we would not have gotten a Goblin Queen in the past, and that Engine of Vengeance would have been a pathway to be able to get that character, Disney wins. You know, they have the X-Men 97. She appears in the show. So they're like, okay, yeah, I guess we want you to do that, or however that works. Obviously, I'm not a toy insider. I don't actually know how any of that works. But I assume that's kind of how it is. So Disney says, oh, you know, people really wanted that. You know, we can't really release that on its own. You know, it's a thing. But hey, we got it in this animated series. You know, the animated series is obviously going to be family friendly. So, you know, make a figure for that. Because this figure is not the same as that one. The head sculpts are not the same. The suit is not the same. If anything is the same, maybe these damn heels are the same. Maybe the hands are the same. Maybe the arms could even be the same, but the figure itself is not actually the same. So looking at her there, pretty good. But again, we get this like pinkish hue skin tone color on there. We get this red orange hair. It doesn't have as much sculpt work in there because again, it is animated based. So you get a lot of thicker lines and things like that. And then we tend to see that with the animated series figures. The facial print on there looks really good. Came out looking very nice. The sculpt of it as well. We get the little, I don't know, amulet, whatever that's called, brooch, I guess there. It's just red and yellow. And then, yeah. So we have like this corset type sculpted detail in there, but not really a corset. I believe this is going to be new to her. Looking at the legs, we have a super low thigh cut in there, and I know, and I'm assuming they did it to accommodate the boot style of the leg. So as you can see, this is basically like a boot. Here is the top of the boot there, and then she's got like dark gray tights on underneath that. So the thigh cut is just under where that boot cut would be. So if you look, I guess actually on the inside of the leg, it comes right down to where that thigh cut there is. So thigh cut is low, in my opinion. It looks a little bit weird, but they did that to avoid having that turn and look a little bit funky in there. But just all black all the way throughout. But yeah, looks pretty good. We get another look at that baby. Scary looking baby. Oh, it just kind of creeps me out a little bit. It's like a baby doll, but looks real. Oh, just something weird. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see how she moves. It's not great. She's got all the double jointed elbows and knees, so that's good. But this cape is just kind of crazy. I guess we'll take a closer look at it too. It reminds me of kind of like a bat shape to it, I guess. But like one section is longer than the other, and that actually almost like can touch the ground in certain parts and can actually help balance her. But some nice folds in there, and then you get this textured inside of the red there. And looking pretty good. So that kind of gets in the way, and it's not going to be able to remove. You can see it does peg into the back, but it is glued on there in the front with that brooch. So you're not going to be able to remove that at all. Okay, so Goblin Queen's articulation. The problem is with the long hair, she's not going to be able to look up. She can look down somewhat there. And then the torso wants to naturally tilt back, which gets her to really look straight out. But when you kind of level out the torso the way it's supposed to be, as you can see, she kind of looks down. And that is a pain in the ass. And that's going to be partly because of the hair and how the head sits on there. But you're not going to really be able to move that head around. You can swivel a little bit, but not a whole lot. So that kind of sucks. The arm you can get to go straight on out. You can do a full rotation in that arm. We do get the upper bicep swivel in there, which is nice. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there. The wrist swivels so much that I just pulled it out. But the wrist swivel, it's not loose or anything. It won't just come out. It's because I kept, hinging it down earlier, so it probably loosened it up. But anyway, there is a hinge, so hinge back and then swivel in there. Diaphragm cut, so she could tilt to her left that much. She could tilt to her right that much there. Going back is quite a bit, but the legs hit the cape, so it's just kind of weird. Coming forward is like nothing at all, but again, getting her to come forward and kind of stand there straight, like she just naturally looks down, which I think is a little bit of a problem. You got to swivel at that top diaphragm cut. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward that far, which is actually less than most female figures, I would say. There. Leg doesn't go back at all. We got the upper thigh cut shortly above the knee. Again, it's a little bit odd, but you know, it's to avoid that boot cut portion there. Double jointed pinless knee there. No calf swivel or anything like that. Big ass high heels, so foot hinges down like so. You get some hinge up. Ankle pivot there, as you can see, and then there is peg holes at the bottom of the foot closer to the toes there. I talk about getting her to stand up. She can stand up. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but you know, it's not as easy. There, apparently, when it's time and in front of the camera, I can make it seem very easy, but it is frustrating at times to get her. Maybe I'm just getting lucky, but just a heads up on that. Okay, so here are all the X-Men 97 figures that have released so far. All of Series 1, or Wave 1, excuse me, and the single figure from Wave 2 that I have so far, which is the Goblin Queen. Now, I know I didn't really do any comparisons in this video. Once I get Wave 2, Cyclops, Jean Grey, I'll be able to show you guys some better comparisons. Right here, it just doesn't make sense when this is an animated version. I know some people will likely want to use it as far as a comic version, but you know, that's not the suit that they want, the look that they want. But anyway, here are the X-Men 97 figures that have been released so far. Again, I hope to have the rest of Wave 2 shortly. I'm excited for the show on Disney Plus coming in March. I was a big fan of the X-Men, the animated series in the 90s, and it still holds up really well to today. I love the Spider-Man animated series more than I love the X-Men animated series, but in my opinion, X-Men stands the test of time more than the Spider-Man animated series does. So kudos to the X-Men animated series, and nice to see that a lot of the original voice actors are coming back. So I'm excited. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Goblin Queen Madelyne Pryor figure? What do you think of the Wave 2? What do you think of Wave 1? Are you excited for the series? Let me know down in the comments below. I did check this. The blanket is the same. The baby head is not, by the way. So let me know all your guys' thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.